There's a black market that is growing at the fastest rate in the world. The revenue it brings in each year is higher than the animal, the weapon, the organ, the logging, and the mining black trades combined. It's something so ubiquitous that you can pick any object in this room, and I can guarantee that this object either created it or helped create it. It's something so small that I can guarantee that you guys didn't even notice I placed it on your chairs before you sat down. It's coarse, it's rough, it's everywhere. It's sand. Sand is the foundation of our modern civilization. I mean that literally. It's the leading ingredient in concrete and the second most used natural resource, only behind water. Before I give the speech on sand, I was asked to establish my credibility on what makes me a qualified speaker to talk about sand. And in truth, I am no expert. I have no degrees in sand biology. I don't use sand in any way outside what is typical of the average person. But I am an investor who likes to seize opportunities, and I have positioned a reasonable amount of my portfolio around the increasing demand for sand. Through my research and preparation for this speech, I've only grown more confident in the fact that sand is the most valuable material on Earth. Its applications are everywhere. It is not replenishing at a sustainable rate, and the illegal black market is growing at the fastest rate. So, to begin my speech, I need to take you back thousands of years ago to the earliest notes of humanity. Sand was first used by humans 150,000 years ago. What was life like back then, Colleen? I apologize. I apologize. I was told to get the audience's attention.
Old and tired.
Please don't fire me. But sand was first used as an abrasive to sharpen tools, then used to create jars and beads, and the first form of currency was in the form of glass beads. Now, as time progressed, sand evolved alongside with us. Concrete with the Romans, electronics now. Like I said a moment ago, you can pick any object in this room, and sand has influenced it in some way. I'd like you to take a moment and pick one, and think how has sand influenced it. Now take another moment, and think about what this exercise would look like in the future. I think you have more options to choose from. But that's assuming sand does not become a scarce resource, and it is. Because sand dredging right now is not sustainable. The United Nations Natural Resource website states that sand usage has tripled from 1970 to 2020 at a rate that they estimate to have 6 to 9 billion semi-trucks full of sand. I don't know why the United Nations chose semi-trucks as a measurement system, but that's besides the point. But I must warn you, this data is a little old, 6 years, and industries that utilize sand have since grown. Electronics, chips, solar. So just take this information with a grain of sand, knowing that this measurement is probably a lot higher. The same report admits that measuring data is a key challenge to even identifying how far a sand supply can go. Nobody's going to count how many grains of sand that we have. So measuring data for problem solvers to work with, it's very difficult. Geology of sand can vary widely. Sand deposits range from a couple inches underground to thousands of feet. That information came from the same United Nations resource website. But the lack of actionable data is a key barrier to understanding this problem. Without data, reasonable decisions towards solving this problem, they're hard to justify. However, there is hard data on the consequences of sand dredging. It's pretty dire. Sand dredging destroys the habitat. When sand dredging occurs, it strips away the bottom of the seafloor or riverbank. And this has disastrous consequences for the food chain. It works its way up, leading to species going extinct or migrating to other ecosystems. Its consequences can multiply pretty quickly. And the effects of sand mining, they're scary because of how unpredictable they can be, especially since most sand mining goes unreported. But this doesn't just apply to animals, it applies to us. Let's take the Mekong River Delta crisis. This is the largest river in Vietnam. It is home to 18 million people who produce half of Vietnam's food. The Vietnam Express, the most read newspaper, explained that unchecked sand dredging has led to destabilization of land around the river. Nearly 2,000 homes have been destroyed and over 100 people have been killed. One of the victims said that this is a scary disaster because it disguises itself as a natural disaster. In reality, it's a man-made disaster. Now these problems continue into Ho Chi Minh City, the capital of Vietnam, over 50 miles away. The sand dredging has led to cracks in the foundation miles and miles away, leading to homes being abandoned because they're just unsafe. And these are all caused because miners are looking to make a quick buck. The illegal market for sand dredging is growing very fast. The United States Geological Survey Mineral Commodity Summaries, try saying that 5 times fast, state that illegal sand mining is expected to rise 30% within the next decade. And this growth is a direct result of demand. Demand has far outpaced supply, which means that these sand sellers have pricing power, which therefore means that it is an attractive prospect to get into. All you need is a boat and a pump, and the consequences of sand dredging are in the form of fines, not prison time. So sand is one of the most interesting materials on Earth. It's pretty mundane when you think about it. Just a little tiny grain, no less than 2 millimeters. But it is the building block of our civilization. Not only for our civilization, but for ecosystems across the world. As illegal sand mining only increases, it is imperative to understand sand's importance, to acknowledge that this material has and will shape humanity. I hope this information I provided today reshapes how you think of this otherwise void object.